The Mating School by Jonas Mears, Chapters 23 and 24. Chapter 23. "You sure this is allowed?" said Lily, following close behind Anne. Their footsteps echoed sharply against the stonework. "Of course it is. It's no different than a study group, really," Anne said over her shoulder. "I don't mean about working together," said Lily. "I meant about being down here." "On the first floor?" said Anne. "Yeah, that's chill. The other students don't come down here is all, not because it's not allowed, but because it's colder here and out of the way. Particularly when there are plenty of places to study and practice and hang out on the top 2 floors. "Why didn't we go to the second floor then?" said Lily. "That floor is out of bounds. According to reliable, solid rumors, the floor is reserved for teacher and staff stuff." "Now you've got me interested," said Lily, mostly joking. Anne laughed and took another turn. The hallway opened up to a magnificent room. Water leaped in a celebratory kind of way from a white marbled fountain containing a rearing horse statue that was situated in the center of the large room. The windows were long and narrow and placed high on the wall. Light poured in from above and, transformed by the lapping water, landed on the opposite walls in prisms of dancing color. "This is amazing," said Lily. She touched the nearest wall and the light painted her hand in color and warmth. It was a short time before Lily started thinking about her classes and studies, their purpose for being here, for Anne to teach her what she needs to learn now that she's a shifter, an official one anyway. She thought about how hard she'd been working, and how in this moment she was unexpectedly blessed with things as beautiful as the room, her new abilities, her renewed sense of belonging. She savored that for slow minutes before thoughts of get back to work intruded. In that moment she thought about how it's good that she's working hard and being diligent, but that it's also good to be in the moment also, to be happy. To just stand and enjoy the lights waltzing across the palm of her hand in warm joy. She couldn't help but smile. She glanced at Anne. She thought Anne would be mesmerized by the lights also, but Anne was only looking at her. There was curiosity in the depths of her amber eyes. Part 2. "You have to hold the idea in your mind," said Anne. "What idea, exactly? Having improved smell?" said Lily. They'd found a large rounded study room where they could practice. It was lit with thousands of tiny lights spaced organically all over the ceiling like stars in the night sky. The fireplace was overlarge, and a fire burned hot in the hearth. The room was empty apart from 2 rounded benches set adjacent to the wall. "It's not just being able to sense smell better," said Anne, but rather thinking about how it would feel to be commanding that ability. "So, I should sniff the air or something," said Lily, who was having a hard time believing this would work. "Sure," said Anne. "I can't tell you what is the right way, because it's going to be specific to whoever is trying to use the magic." Said Lily, moving slightly away from the nearest bench. "If you had that magic right now, and were employing it, then what would you be doing? If you would be sniffing the air, then it would seem that'd be the right thing to try. I guess if I had that ability, I would be standing here and smelling things stronger than I currently am," said Lily. It was weird because the idea seemed straightforward, and yet to implement it seemed challenging. "Perfect," said Anne. She made it seem like it was a breakthrough of some kind. "So what would you be smelling more of?" "The wood burning in the fireplace," said Lily. "And I guess the stone has a subtle cool smell about it. There's a kind of cinnamon smell also. Focus on those. Visualize them becoming more intense." "You said every shifter has this ability?" said Lily after practicing for a few minutes without success. "I said they have the potential," said Anne. "That mind-reading stuff is bogus, right, though?" said Lily. "I'd rather not have a bunch of random shifters shouting in my mind. Even if we were part of the same pack, There is mind magic so far as I know, but it's not an everyday kind of thing. I've only heard of witches' potions that can alter that. Then again, I don't know what the lichens are or will be capable of. Maybe me and super smelling don't mix, said Lily. Is there another ability I should try? Don't say that, said Anne. If you say you're not good at it, with magic, you won't be good at it. Said Lily. I can't say I'm following. I don't fully understand it myself, said Anne. This is deep magic we're talking about. It's still being studied. But there's a theory that suggests that you must think about it first before you can do it. If you say I can do it, and somehow make yourself believe that you can do it, there's a higher chance that you will be able to learn. If you say I'm not good enough, like mind over matter, said Lily, thinking. She'd never thought of this kind of idea before. Yeah, a bit like that, said Anne. And if you don't think you can access and master the ability, then in basic terms, like, would you even try? And if you didn't try, you'd never learn how to accomplish the goal. Lily felt like a window onto a brand new world was opened for her. She wondered what other abilities shifters were able to attain. What abilities would she be able to access? Chapter 24. The sky looked so perfect in the minutes right before dawn. Lily watched it through the domed roof of the courtyard. Tuesday meant life principles and general agility later. But not right now. Right now the morning was Lily's alone. She took a few minutes to stretch, mostly to give herself time to figure out how to shift again. Relax the mind, she remembered Mrs. Burnett telling them. Breathe deep. A few more minutes passed, and Lily was glad no one else was around, as if it'd be embarrassing to be seen just standing there. Honestly, they probably wouldn't care, though, Lily thought to herself. Even if there were students there, and even if they did feel judgment towards her, she shouldn't care. After all, she couldn't control the opinions of others, and as such, worrying about what others might think wasn't the best use of her time. She supposed she could get better at this focus and mind control stuff. She almost laughed. Okay, Lily, she told herself, remember what it felt like. But another 30 minutes passed before she started to feel a tingling sensation. She thought about the feeling of her paws and the warmth her fur provided. She remembered the feeling of her tail as she leaped onto a low-hanging tree limb, how it moved in tandem with her sleek body to help with balance. In many ways, shifting was kind of like falling asleep. A quiet peacefulness washed over her mind as she let go of all thought. All the things she'd need to be doing later, all the homework and essays she'd need to finish this week. She let go of the idea of shifter abilities she needed to acquire, because right now, it was just her, a new day, and the euphoria of racing forward, and embracing the feeling of being in her leopard form once more. Part 2. Lily wasn't able to manage her enhanced sense of smell in human form until the next Tuesday, by which time Anne had drilled into her about how she needed to be vigilant about controlling her mind and thoughts. Imperative, thought Lily. That was the word Anne had used. The students were evenly spaced in long rows doing their warm-up. That's how general agility was for the most part. The teacher stood at the front, showing them the correct position of the exercise, and the class mirrored it. The second part of the class was always more interesting, though. Today, the teacher had gotten out the gats, which were devices that were about the size of a tennis ball. Once the launch was triggered, it would shoot out spongy darts 3 at a time. The blunt darts were incredibly fast and flew with a slight curve depending on the angle of the gat when triggered. The object of the lesson was to not get hit, or rather to provide students with the opportunity to improve their spatial awareness and agility. The darts were so light that it didn't hurt to get hit. A red border was spray-painted in an expansive and curvy kind of way. It must have been the adrenaline of the game that triggered Lily's ability, because Lily didn't feel relaxed or meditative at all. She'd thought the achievement of accessing her shifter senses would leave her feeling euphoric. But the reality was that enhanced smell in a confined space full of nearly 100 sweaty students was overwhelming. She ran and dodged a gat thrown towards her, but her evasion of the darts released left her uncomfortably close to the out-of-bounds line. Irene was coming towards her looking smug. Well, that is, until Sophie hit her from behind, effectively disqualifying her. Lily laughed and high-fived Sophie before running towards the middle where there was some tree cover. As such, she didn't see the mutinous look on Irene's face.